point here. A lot of times people say, all protocols observed. That thing is not said properly. This is what you say. So let's assume I start again. Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, the Vice President, Ministers of State, Special Guest of Honor, our colleague, Vice Chancellors, Nime and Name, all other protocols observed. Not because the President is the protocol. Oh, I've done protocol, so you can't say all protocols observed. If all protocols observed, why am I even saying what I'm saying? So what you're saying is that there are other people there who you can't acknowledge. So it's all other. So what? So instead of about 5, everybody's like, this is getting too long. All other protocols observed. Do you get my point? So never say all protocols observed. It's all other. It's very important. It's something a mistake people make a lot. Let's change flavor a bit. Let's change flavor a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always your closing. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen is always a nice closing. Ladies and gentlemen. So when you even say all other protocols observed, you are trying to say maybe there are MMCEs, there are some people you haven't acknowledged. But ladies and gentlemen means that you are finished. Are we together? So when you say all other protocols observed, then you say ladies and gentlemen. Then you move on. You wanted to ask a question? Mm-hmm. That's a massive question. So if there are 2 MCs for a program, it's very dangerous if the 2 MCs haven't spoken before the program starts. That could lead to all kinds of problems. I remember I came to MC a program in Tema for my friend Castro. He got married. And when he was in tech, he had a friend in Katanga Hall who was like a funny guy who is full of jokes from Takrade. And then I was his mate from primary school. So we were supposed to be the 2 MCs. The guy was sharing some jokes from tech which the people didn't like. You get me? And it was embarrassing me because I am a quite formal guy. And this guy, he was just talking some things. And I didn't know that's how the guy was. And I should have checked before accepting to be a co-MC to the guy. You get me? So because when the guy is talking about like, oh, Charlie, come and take over. Don't let the guy talk. He's annoying us. So if you want to do a co-MC thing, usually male, female, because we want to be balanced, there must be chemistry and there must be planning. Co-MCs can't do spontaneous things. You plan it, right? So usually I'll say, okay, I will announce the adverts and you will welcome the next person. Whatever happens, I'm going to announce the sponsors and you are going to call the next person, right? So we go. Welcome back. Hope that was a nice show. You clap your hands, shout, whatever. Then our sponsors are Unibank, City FM, Joy FM. Now, to tell us, you don't even need to tell us, after I do that, the person, if we have good chemistry, he will know that, okay, the next person coming is, or I can give a cue. Do you want to know what's going to happen next? Then she gets the cue. It's very difficult. So usually when I do 2 MCs, I tell them, don't go upstage together many times. Go upstage together to introduce the program and come and close the program. The rest of it, do it individually. Because it's awkward if you don't have chemistry.
Word pronunciation. We have what we call show prep. So as an MC, if you are giving the program outline, and you're not sure of a word, I think it would be appropriate to ask.
Yeah, it's very important because people can be offended by all kinds of things. When you're emceeing a program, maybe, you see, people are angry with the program organized already. They don't know how to talk to them. So when MC makes one mistake, they'll finish you. It's very important what he says, not to guess. In fact, there are certain things I do, right? So let's assume I have a list of people to acknowledge. And I have a name like Marie Laurie Olugbade. Some name like that. I did not pronounce it. So what I'll do is I introduce the ones I can pronounce. And I'll say, we have a lot more people. And I'm going to acknowledge the rest of them in the next segment. Do you get me? Then I'll go and check the pronunciation of the name. It will save me embarrassment. So there are many times I say, we have so many people here. And not to bore you, we'll break the invitations into parts. So for now, here are the people. I do that because now I realize that there are some names that I can't pronounce. That I have to go and check. All right? Let's do this quick one. So when you come to a place, and I noticed the man in the brown, you suffered a bit. When you come to a place, there are a couple of things you need to do. First, get people's attention. Right? Get people's attention before you set the tone for the program. Now, how do you get people's attention? Because there's nothing worse than going to do a program and you're talking, nobody's listening to you. You have taken the mic, you are talking. And this is particular in a dinner party. When people come for a program like this, they want to come and listen to you. So they are sitting looking at you. When people are sitting like this, the one on the left or the one on the right, these people, They came to eat and meet their friends. They didn't come to listen to the MC. The one on the right is even worse. I did it at Teshinungwa. This is the son of the man, Professor Jangma. He was doing his 70th program. His friends from 1952, they all came there. And they are happy to see themselves. And you are some small boy MC coming to waste their time. Now, your opening is so important. Because if you don't get their attention at the beginning, you've lost the program. How do you get their attention? There are a few suggestions. Now, Kafwede says what he does in getting attention is a couple of things. So let's assume he's inside this room. When he gets into this room, and there's a lot of talking going on, the DJ can help you. Some zaps, boom, or some noise. Hello? They are not minding you. Hello? DJ raises the voice a bit. Some sound to startle them for them to listen to you. If they are all looking at you like this, the best way, you can come and stand in front of the people and smile. And as you smile, they start looking at you. You realize that you want to talk, they keep quiet. You can use silence to get them to keep quiet. Just as you are there quietly, looking at them one by one, you'll be surprised they'll keep quiet. But if they are sitting around in a chair like this and they are talking and not minding you, you need to startle them. And when they keep quiet and listen to you, your opening line must be powerful enough for them to think you are worth listening to. Otherwise, you're going to lose them. Right? Otherwise, so I'll give you an example. The picture on the left, what program was it? And all this is contextual. So I can't give you lines you can use anywhere. It depends on the context. This was Thursday night. I didn't want to do this program. There's a guy called Theo Asari. He had something called Theovision. They use radio to preach the gospel, and they record scriptures. They had a 3-day conference in Hepzibah in Ibri. People from 30 African countries all over the world who use radio in ministry. Theo Asari wanted to showcase me as a Christian in contemporary radio. So he wanted me to be an MC for this program. It was an awards night. People are from America, from Europe, from everywhere. There are about 100 people. I'm the MC. When I went, they were playing music. The people were not listening to the music. They were tired, so they were talking. And then David was singing music. Nobody was minding David. So I come in. I'm wearing my cocaine suit and my red tie. When I got there, first thing I did, after David finished the music, I said, hi, I thought I came for a Christian program, but we're playing a gospel song and nobody was even minding. I don't know what's the problem. They all look at me, hey, who is this guy? What is he saying? Why is he talking like that? Then I said, well, I'm very happy to see all of you. I know you are all in gospel ministry. I'm also in ministry, but I do talk show with politicians. It's like, radio presenter, Ghana, what's happening? So now I'm a radio guy, but I'm not like them because they are gospel people. Then I said, okay, so my job here is to simply introduce the segments of the program and to let us eat. And we know we are all going to heaven. And in heaven, there are a couple of things that will happen. People will come from different countries, just like all of you from different countries. And there's also going to be a supper, like Revelation 19 said. So we're going to practice a bit of heaven here. They started applauding, right? So I've seen the context. They are foreigners. They are mixed people. I spoke about food that we are coming to eat, and I spoke about the unity. I got their attention. The fact that I was a radio guy and they were radio people made it easier. So what does it mean? You need to study the environment to know what kind of people they are. I could say, hello, hi. Welcome to the program. I come to do an award ceremony. I want to call the chairman. Who the hell are you? Why should they even listen to you? You get me? So they were not listening to the music guy. I commented about that a bit. They were a bit guilty. They looked at me. And I spoke about my being a radio presenter, but I being in a contemporary radio. So they were a bit relaxed. Okay? Then I spoke about the fact that we are from different countries and we are here to feast, like Revelation 19, the marriage feast of the bride. And I actually said something that I said, Charlie, I hope that when we go to heaven, there will be real food and not food of the spirit. They were laughing. Quack, 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 quack. Yeah. Then I said, okay, so tonight we are going to award some of our distinguished people, and I'm going to call Mr. This person to do that and that. I got their attention. Now, it's an eating program, so MC can't come every 5 minutes and be asking them questions. So when I got the first chance, I did all I had to do, and I went to sit down. They ate, they did everything. So if you are emceeing a dinner program, don't come in at every break. Either finish the talking before they eat. Don't let them be eating and come in every 5 minutes and say, I want to talk to you about something. Don't mind you. So we finished all we did. They ate the food, and I came back for the award ceremony. By the time I came, I said, okay, we've all had food. The dessert is coming up, but before we get the dessert, we want to give some quick awards. And then I got their attention again. Do you understand me? So now you, the MC, must be part of the drawing of the program based on your understanding. Because imagine if after every 5 minutes of eating, I have to come and say something else. Go and announce car number, missing key. Go and announce somebody's child is. No. Do you understand? Because you are there to make the people happy. They are not there to come and listen to you. They are there to eat. Okay? And the program, it's not about you, the MC. I'm coming to MC. No. They are there to eat and meet their friends. Your job is to make it flow. So you are not there every 2 minutes, talk, and be cracking useless jokes. They came to meet their friends and to eat. And they will not judge the program based on how well I spoke. It's about how good was the food and how unobtrusive the MC was. So sometimes good MCing is being silent and invisible. Good MC is not every time, hey, you want to be, hey, let me talk. No. You can be a great MC by allowing the program to flow and not saying much. Intro the program, let the program take its course. Limit the number of times you go because 100 people come with announcements. Tell them, don't worry, after announcement, when I go, I'll announce it. Don't let people push you into saying things you don't want to say. So you go for wedding. Weddings are the worst. The woman's mother's uncle will come. After we from the Volta region, we have to do this. You have to go and announce this. You have to mention his name properly. You have to do all unnecessary. Take all the pressure for the couple. You see, a good MC is like a sponge. You take a lot of rubbish, but when you go, you give out only good things. So they will say everything. Say, apologize, beg, do everything. Don't go every 10 seconds and announce a car number. You will spoil the program. So tell them that you are collating all the information. When you go, you announce it. Don't let people put their inefficiency on you. A lot of people are nervous. Program organizers are very, very nervous. And they try and bring their attention to you. And you too, you go there and you spoil the program. So for programs where there's eating involved particularly, the less you talk, the better. And you put all your things together. When you come, do it as often as... So you do all you want to do when you have the attention. Get out of the way. Are we together? Very, very important. Now, let me just run through some things and I will close. I think I've spoken enough. So, I distinguish the programs between... so here we are. Panel discussion, we can do a special training on panel discussion. There's a special skill for moderating panels. This is one of the things I do. Where you are trying to guide a conversation of 5 people. What's your job? You set the framework. Give each body the time to speak. Listen to what they are saying. Ask them sensible questions each. Summarize what they are saying. Open the floor. Close the program. It's a specialized skill where you must be trained for it. They are all coming from different contexts. You must know what Professor Youngson is bringing to the discussion that Anis Hafa doesn't have before you go for the program. So if you want to ask a question, Youngson teaches geography at Legon. Anis Hafa is an educationist who writes about education in the graphic every day. Different from Ewa Amwasechi, who's a different business, whatever. So when you are moderating this panel, you ask Youngson questions from his geography background, and you bring Anis Hafa on his infantility, whatever. Do you get me? You don't mix the thing up because you are MC and you are moderating. No. And that's why the background work is very, very important. Okay? This was a panel discussion. So this week, let me tell you what I did. This week, on Tuesday, I moderated a youth policy panel discussion at Alisa Hotel from 2 to 4, where essentially they were formulating youth employment policies. I was the moderator. I wasn't the MC. I'm the guy in the red tie. Then, the next night, I did the Awal Goyle CIMG thing. That was Wednesday. Thursday, I was in Ebri to do this program on the left with these radio people. And then Friday, I was at the NIA for the, what do you call it? NIA. All within 1 week. Oh, and this is not my work. I'm the host of Breakfast Show. I'm the director of news. So this one is Galamsey I'm doing on the side. This one is Galamsey I'm doing on the side. Wedding, naming ceremony, funeral are social events. These ones are less formal. These are the programs we should get out of the way quickly. These programs have moods. Funeral is a somber mood. Naming ceremony is a joyous mood. Wedding is happy mood. Don't spoil the mood. Dinner and banquet, when people sit around a table, they didn't come to listen to you. They came to listen to themselves. Let them eat. Limit your coming in. Funeral needs a lot of experience. If you are not experienced, don't try a funeral. You will just worry yourself. Wedding ceremony, the reception is meant for the wedding. Some churches allow an MC for the wedding. Some churches don't. The reception, very important to know who the food server is. Work with the food server. Otherwise, the wedding will be a long queue of people waiting to eat. You destroy the wedding. if you have the power, let them do multiple serving points. Okay? It's not about how talking you are the difference between the success and the failure of the program. You must talk to the food person. They must know you are the MC. You must know what food they are going to eat and what options there are. Do you understand me? So these are social events. And then, of course, this is a wedding, cutting the cake, what you say, lunch and optional speech, champagne popping, toast, first dance, bouquet toss, dancing. These things are things that you must know how to intro and outro. I don't have time to go through all this. We can do a special one later on that. Church events. Let me just end on this. So for us here, we need to distinguish between a church service, which follows a liturgy. My mother grew up liturgy. They follow liturgy. You don't come and let that. They do liturgy. They read it. Huh? There is a church service. A Bible study is not the same as a church service. A Bible study is different. So MC don't come and shout. It's Bible study. A prayer meeting, they are praying. So there's shouting aloud. Huh? A music event, I always ask people, when is a good time for people to shout and when is a good time not to shout? This is how I do it. If somebody does a worship song and finishes a worship song, you are not going to tell people to shout. He just finished a worship song. We are all in the spirit. So you flow in the worship. If you finish, and take the mic, yeah, because they are all shouting. Do you know what I mean? So what you do is you work with the mood of the room. Imagine if they just finish doing, you are Alpha and Omega. They finish, no, take the mic, no. Give the Lord a shout! You see, they make sense. Do you understand me? We've just done, you are Alpha, Omega, people are crying, and things are cool. Then you can't take the mic, no, then you are shouting. It's some way. But if we do praise and we are jumping, there are still elements of jumping in them. So you can do a few more jumping to cool them down. Do you understand? But we finish the worship. So you don't come and then come and be shouting after worship. Or somebody has just given a Bible study on Revelation, you are shouting. MC is not about shouting. Are you understanding me? MC is not about shouting. MC is about flow. It's about flow. You are. So what I do is I pick the signal from the person who is doing what he's doing, and I flow in that spirit. Do you get me? I pick the signal. So the Reverend has finished preaching a very serious sermon. People are really broken. You can say, before we go on the next program, I want you to just meditate on the word and pray silently in your heart, thanking God and asking for forgiveness. Right? So you are prolonging the mood he has brought into the room. You don't come and abruptly change over. So he's come to preach, and people are really, really feeling bad. And he's tired, so he's handed over the mic to you. As a discerning MC, if there's space, you can tell the keyboardist to play something, whilst people just organize themselves, right? Or then you even say, let's pray. You don't lead a wild opening prayer. You are essentially saying that we really want this thing to go on, but we have to move on. So you soak the thing, and then you into the next one. So even the way you talk is changing. Because the man has come to preach about sin. Imagine the man preaches about sin, he talks about repentance, you can't take the mic and you're just laughing. And you're just excited and cracking jokes. You see? So that's why he said you need wisdom. The wisdom is knowing how to act in a space. Because I can't give you a formula. Right? What you need to say, God, give me wisdom so I can flow with the man. I can flow with the man. So look, my mother used to be a translator. So when the pastor is preaching in English, she translates to Twi. And my mother's father is from Obusumasi, and father is from Peki. So she can speak Twi and Ewe. So my mother used to be a church translator. A lot of times she'll be praying that God will give her the spirit of the preacher. So when she's translating, when the preacher is moving, she's moving. When the preacher slows, she slows. And she's not trying to out-translate. Huh? So the man says something, then she wants to prove her. No. She's flowing with the guy. And I was watching it. So when the guy is firing, when the guy cools down, you cool down. So it takes a lot of prayer to be in the same spirit. And the MC must pray to be in the same spirit of the person he's taking over from. Huh? So the man has come to preach a message which requires a certain behavior. You must flow in that spirit. And it takes prayer. Right? We are believers. We are spiritual people. We are not just here to come and do shouting issues. So, music event allows for shouting. Youth event, yo. Now, if there's a gospel rock show and elders and apostles are coming, you can't MC it like just a... So we are MCing a gospel rock show, and then elders want to come. They've put on their duku and they've come for it. They know it's a youth program. But you can't come and do youth things alone. You have to acknowledge them there. If it's only the youth, you have your own language. So you must, it's always about because the audience is the boss of the program organizer. Do you understand me? Are we together? So every event, imagine if you're emceeing a crusade. Emceeing a crusade, we used to do crusades, right? Or you go to a Siakwa. You went to a Siakwa to do a crusade. People are speaking Chinese, people are speaking English. You are emceeing a crusade in a Siakwa. How do you do it? How do you ginger the people to know, to believe God? A lot of prayer is involved. And a lot of wisdom. A lot of wisdom. What kind of songs to raise? Sometimes God will inspire you to raise a song because I remember I went to speak at a program and then the MC did something. After I finished speaking, there was a lot of people were sad. So the MC raised a song and the song opened the place. People were just falling. And so when you are given MC job, you have a lot of discretion. Don't abuse the discretion. You are supposed to lead a song. As soon as the pastor comes to stand, your song is ending. Whether Holy Ghost, whatever. Because, see, we all have the Holy Spirit, right? The pastor wants to preach. You are singing a song. The song is going well. As soon as the man of God comes to take his mic, it's a cue for you. If he says continue, continue. You don't sing 3 more songs. How? Why can you do that? 3. So you think he came to stand there to come and enjoy your song? Once the man of God picks the mic, he's in control. So you defer to him. Then he will say, please continue. Some of them, when they preach, they want you to sing along. So you can also stand until ask you to sit. So some of them, when they come, like Mankralo, join my wife's father's thing. He's preaching, he's singing every 5 minutes. So the singer is standing attention. When he feels like singing the song, you sing it. But you don't go and sit down. He always calls you up and down as if you are not serious. Stand there. You are serving. Okay? So you don't go and sit down. You say, no. We have to be orderly in the church. Okay? So, and it's about submission and authority. So, as soon as a higher person takes the mic, you defer to him. And whatever he wants to do, you flow with it. Do you get me? It's very important. Otherwise, God can't work with disorder. That's why a lot of us are not getting blessed, because we don't have order in the church. We must bring back order. And a lot of things men of God don't say is because they don't want to rebuke us harshly. Right? But we do a lot of things bad. As soon as a man of God comes to stand up with a mic, you the MC, you have to be ready with your pen and paper, taking notes. He's preaching, you must take notes. You are there as his, lieutenant. You don't go and chew chewing gum at the outside and be chatting. So you think that your job is to introduce the program, and then when the man is preaching, you go and stand outside. It's wrong. Because if you don't receive what he's giving, how can you give anything as MC? So you must have a pen and paper writing what he's saying. Before he even calls you, you've already risen up. We must have order in the church. Even in normal program. Yesterday, when I wanted to see, the program I did, the way they did the program, after the president takes his ID card, there was no more speech. So he takes the ID card, shows the card, and we close. And I thought it was wrong. So I went to ask Professor Tifa that, look, I feel you must give a closing remark. So how did I do it? After the president finished his thing and took his ID card, I said, oh, okay, yeah, president, this is your ID card. Now I want to ask the chair, Mr. CEO, to confirm if the ID card is the original ID card. So he picks the ID card from the president, and while people are sharing, he comes to give his closing remarks. Because the way the program was, I noticed a flaw, but I didn't do it. I had to tell him first. I can't just get up and say that he should come and speak. So I told this guy, Charlie, we have to change the program. So when he was coming down, we have to tell him that, look, we'll do some last minute change. And he agreed to do it. I didn't just decide I'm going to do it because I think that's the right thing to do because I'm the MC. Do you understand me? So discipline is crucial. Order is very, very important. So I've tried to do a balanced presentation from the spiritual side and from the physical side as well. There's a lot of material in here which your people can use to do other kinds of presentations. I have what I call the appearance, physical appearance. Shoes. Shoes, colors. Plenty issues. So, okay. So a couple of things. You see, most people see you before they hear you. The rule is that your dress must not be loud. Your attire must not become the program. So he's wearing a yellow shirt. And he's wearing a blue suit. And he's wearing like a brown trouser. Every time he comes to stand up, the people are looking at him and are not focused on the program. So the loudness of his dress is now the issue. So we are spiritual people. I can't tell you, don't wear shirt, don't wear trousers, don't wear this. Wear tight jeans. Woman. Or even man. It makes people so what I do is, as Paul said, all things are permissible, but not all things are lawful. Once even if my socks is yellow and it's becoming the center of attraction, I've gone offside. My dress must be silent. These are some examples given. And a lot of things we do show our lack of proper dressing. So you see, if you are wearing a black suit, this is the prescribed shoe. And you see everything black and charcoal. This is charcoal and navy. Navy and blue and light gray. Some of this for morning, some for evening. Jigbodi is a master of this. Jigbodi Dosu is a master of great. Jigbodi will do this. She's a master of colors. If you're a woman and you are short and you wear a dress which has stripes, it makes you shorter. And you wear round earrings, it makes you look fatter. So you can wear slim earring. If you're a man and you are slim and you wear striped shirt, it makes you look slimmer. All these things Jigbodi will teach you. What color do you wear if you are fair or black? Some of we the men, you have to wear brown suit or blue black, not black. If you are black like somebody and you wear black suit again, it destroys the issue. So a man's suit, dark brown, light, deep blue, or black for a different color, or gray for a different color, purpose. Jigbodi will take you through all these things. But it's important that your appearance is the first thing physically you must take care of. Your eating. If you go and MC a program from 10 o'clock to 4 p.m. and you are fasting, you have bad odor. You must have tom-tom if you are fasting. Otherwise, you'll be blowing fuse. You have to spray deodorant. Otherwise, when you go and talk to the chairman, he will faint. Okay? It's very important. You don't eat banku and abenko and go and MC a program. You sit on the anointing. Okay? What do you eat? Tic Tacs. Don't chew gum in a church. It's rude. Put mint drops or original has. Chewing gum is supposed to remove food debris in your mouth. You can't be chewing. Imagine an MC chewing gum in a church. I mean, are you serious? You see, do you know why we do a lot of things we do? We don't believe that God is in the church. If we really believe God is in the church, you can't be chewing gum and walking anyhow. It's because you are so used to the anointing that you come and be chewing gum. Chewing gum? No. So if you've eaten the food on the right, put mint drops in your mouth. Rinse your mouth. Have water by your side. It's very important. There's even something I call organizing yourself as an MC. MC. No, kita papers be brave, basa. No. Either I use an iPad, or if I don't want to use an iPad, the program outline, I have a pen, and I have the back to write my notes. I don't have a pen, a pencil. Then you know what people do, which is very annoying? They will take a piece of paper, car number GR252. So you have like 3 papers, then you have an iPad, you have a phone, you are disorganized. So what do? Whatever they bring to you, it must go on one sheet. Because when you are talking, you have 4 or 5 papers, it will affect you. So one sheet. That's all. How many sheets? Use the program and write on the program. It's not a sin. Because when you are there and they've typed graduation, and you've written under the graduation, I showed you one of the things I did. I wrote on it. Let me show you. I don't know where that thing is. I wrote on it because, where is it? Why do I write on it? Because I don't want to carry 4 papers to that program. I need one sheet of paper. And that one sheet of paper, let me show you what I wrote on it, just to make the point. See, what did I write? 1st September, paperless port. 11th September, free SHS. 15th September, NIA. It's something I wanted to say, and I don't want to forget. So I wrote it on the sheet, on the front page. So when I stand there, imagine if I wrote out on it on a separate paper. I turn the back of the sheet, write the names of guests to acknowledge. On one sheet. You see, if you are not ordered physically, you can't be ordered intellectually. If I come to your room and your socks and your singlet is scattered, it means you don't think the right way. So if the MC has pen, paper, chewing gum, phone, his child, he's not organized. So what my rule is this or this. If you say you are writing car number, we'll write it here. You're writing whatever. If you can't wait and write it here, we can't write it. I can't go and be holding paper. Then I'll put my pen. So I'll put the book here. Then I'll use the pen to chalk this one. Then I have some other sheet here. Imagine why. So you must organize your space as an MC. You must do what? Organize your space as an MC. Take control of your space. It's very important. These pictures are to let you know. I enjoy life sometimes. Where are we? Good. So, organize your space. You need a working pen. Usually, your bag should not be with you as a woman. Give it to somebody else. Unless you have somebody who is your bag minder. Otherwise, somebody will steal your phone. So, what do? This is what I do. When I'm emceeing programs, they call it armor bearer. A young guy who wants to learn how to MC. He sits here, he controls everything for me. Okay? Because sometimes the program organizer can send you a WhatsApp message by phone. So sometimes don't try and do everything yourself. If you're an MC for a big program, get one of the young guys who is your brother, sit down and be my supporter. Hold my book. If you're an MC, your bag as a woman, you can't carry your bag every time you go on stage. And you can't also leave it for somebody to steal. So get somebody to assist you. If your space is not organized, your mind cannot function. Are we together? So you need to do some of these things, right? Now, emotional preparation is important. If you haven't slept enough, you will be edgy. You'll be nervous. You have to rest. To MC a program, you have to rest. You have to tell yourself, what mood do I want to convey in this meeting? Joy, excitement, respect, somberness. Moods are different. And you set the tone for the mood. Every program has a mood that it requires. A retreat is not the same as a revival. Hello? A Saturday morning retreat at 10 o'clock and the MC is not the same as a revival program in the evening where we are bringing people to come and preach and shout. So the MC must know what mood, and your mood reflects how you talk. If it's a retreat and we are repenting, the mood follows through. A revival is upbeat. A retreat and revival is not the same thing, right? So now your disposition is, if you don't manage your own energy and your space properly, you will infect the program with your negative emotions. Are we together? So, you see what's in front of me? Coffee. City breakfast show. When we come on air, good morning, Renard. Good morning. It's not because we are full, so people are sitting in their car, they are going to work. We have to wake them up. It's 6 a.m. show, man. You can't come and say, hello, this is the City Breakfast Show. My name is Bernard. What is that? I'm not doing country music at 10 p.m. I'm doing City Breakfast Show at 6 a.m. So we shout, we sing Telemo, we do... We've seen some news on Lil Wayne, sing some song. May person may call heaven, something. Foul. Near fire ladder, near call. 2 days ago, we used Elder Mreku song. Elder Mreku is powerful. He was singing some song. Enkosi da ben, enyungani meni dazu, fama me, dima me. Hey. Charlie, we sing up. It a be. See, we are setting the mood. Satan is a master of moods. Mood is, look, let me tell you something we don't know. This guy, Miles Monroe said, response to a spiritual voice creates an atmosphere. Atmosphere sustained creates a climate. Climate sustained creates a stronghold, which has drawing power. Let me repeat. He says, response to a spiritual voice creates an atmosphere, a spiritual atmosphere. The reason when we sing, you are Alpha and Omega, we want to create an atmosphere for people to have faith. Right? It's different from when you're singing a different kind of song. You can hear a song and you become sad. So, God works with atmospheres. And the MC must understand atmosphere. Right? Atmosphere sustained creates a climate of miracles. So there are churches who sing constantly. So miracles happen frequently. So a climate is a sustained weather pattern. So there are some churches who are so great at music that when you enter TD Jakes church, they are always preaching. There's a climate of preaching. So when you take the mic, you start preaching. There are some churches you go, you teach. There's a climate of teaching. And all that is set by the man of God. So if you look at your man of God, your pastor, what is the dominant climate that flows when he preaches? That's the spirit he wants to permeate the church. So he's a teacher. He's systematic. But that systematicness, the things drop slowly. And we understand gradually. That's the climate he's creating in the church. When that climate is sustained, it creates a stronghold. So if anybody wants to change that climate, and a stronghold is defined as the way people think. Right? So now a stronghold, when Jesus goes to a town, he can't preach much because there's a stronghold of opposing thoughts, which starts with atmosphere, which is set by what you say. Are we together? So you must understand atmosphere as an MC. Otherwise, you will always be distorting what the man of God wants to achieve. So disposition and moods are very important. You need emotional intelligence. Don't be exhaustive. Let me look at this one. Observe people's reactions. When you are emceeing, don't just shout. Look at the people. So, they are tired. After lunch session, emceeing, people must do exercise. Give them the mic to do exercise. Don't talk too much like I'm talking. Observe reactions. Somebody was sleeping in the corner. It means I have to close. Observe reactions. Observe reactions, okay? Establish credibility like I did yesterday. Don't speak to be heard. Speak to be understood. Talking is not about noise. It's about meaning. Don't speak to be heard. Speak to be understood. Sound is crucial. Check the mic. Check for feedback. Check for echo. If you don't check the mic, know that when you walk here, there'll be woo. Check all those things before they come. Know that nobody should go here. When you give the mic, say stay here, because when you go, there's feedback. Check all those things because it's sound. We work with sound. So talk to the sound guy. Okay? So these are keys to effective emceeing. Check the sound. Observe reactions. Establish credibility. Use supporting material. Have stories. Have anecdotes. Have issues. emceeing the program, before I introduced Azuma Nelson, I spoke about his Jeff Fenech fight. It's a small anecdote. People relax. Azuma relaxed. He liked it. Think about those. Prepare those anecdotes. Okay? And when the opportunity presents itself, use it. If it doesn't present itself, don't force it. Don't force it. There's no justification for you want to force the Toli. It doesn't work. Do you understand me? So what I do is I prepare the anecdote. If there's an opportunity that brings itself, then I add it. If it doesn't bring itself, I don't add it. You need wisdom. It's better to prepare and not use than not to prepare and to try and force something you haven't thought about. You don't know the punchline and then you spoil it. Do you get my point? So there are lots of things I have planned to say to you, but I won't say because the opportunity hasn't brought itself. So prepare background material. MC is a very important work. It's a very intellectual work. Intellectual work. Use questions if you want to get their attention. Do you know that leadership is the most important factor? Or somebody gave me an example in Kafus. He said, if you want to do a leadership program, he uses this intro. He says, do you know that most great leaders die young? Jesus Christ, Martin Luther King, Steve Biko. You get my point? So you use something like that to get their attention. So you can use questions in your emceeing because you are asking them to engage. You are not just talking to them. You can say, how many of you know this person? They respond. Talk to them. Do you get me? Don't shout at them. Talk to them one by one. A lot of people, when they see crowd, they say, hey, they want to shout because they've seen plenty of people. These are pastors. Sorry, pan ebuse, mama me mouth, why? Ojai says demo. No. You don't do that. Let me give you a key. One of the best ways you talk to an audience like this, when I'm talking about a radio program, I imagine who my listener is. I don't imagine talking to a stadium full of people. I imagine you sitting in your car with your wife. You are driving to work. Your daughter is in the back. And I'm talking to you. So it makes me think about what I say. If I think I'm talking to 1,000 people, I'll be shouting. Do you understand? So wise people speak to many as if they speak to one. Great oratory. I'm talking to 500 people, but all of them think I'm talking to them. And it's about who you imagine in your mind. If you are talking and you think that I'm talking to 200 people, you just be shouting. But everybody is listening differently. Jesus never spoke to everybody the same. John 3, he spoke to Nicodemus about the kingdom. John 4, he spoke to the woman about water. He spoke to the rich young ruler about what? Riches. Zacchaeus, he didn't even tell him anything. He said, I'm coming to your house. That's wisdom. So, and you are trying to speak to a whole crowd. You need grace. See how, did Jesus have a formula? Everybody says, no, repent, be born again. Is that what he did? So wisdom is knowing how to speak to people based on their needs. Are we together? So you must discern, and individuals have needs. Audiences too have needs. Just like individuals have needs, every audience has a need. So you must discern that need and feed that need. Are we together? I think I can speak forever. We have to end at some point. So make notes. For those of you who are into the galamsey business like me, agree how much they'll pay before you go and take the job. If they don't pay, free. The program I did for Theo Asari, I didn't charge him. He's my mentor. He's a radio Christian. I don't want any money from him. When he finished, he gave me 500 cedis. I thank him. But if CIMG wants me to MC a program at 6 p.m., when I get home, my children are sleeping, I will negotiate for money. And if I don't agree, I won't do it. I won't say, oh, I wanted 2,000, give me 1,000. I'll be angry and go and spoil the program. So for some people, I will do a program free. For some people, I'll charge. Pre-negotiate payments is very important. Deal with fear. There are plenty of things. Don't shout. I'll leave this with you so you can study it. God can help you to be a good MC. And if we have time, we'll pray for 2 minutes for God to give us the grace. Are there any questions?
Good afternoon. Please, I want to know how you can handle errors. Let's say maybe you give the wrong title to somebody. Some people don't take it lightly. So how do you handle situations like that?
Sir Bernard, you handle morning show, and it's a political one. How do you combine, in fact, the way you were presenting, as if you were a bishop or one of the prophets. How do you combine all the scriptures you were mentioning with NDC MPP Wahala?
I'm Harry. I wanted to know if there is any difference between being a moderator and an MC.
MC is a generic expression for all we just did. A moderator can be an MC, but I usually see a moderator as performing a role within a bigger program, right? So there's a whole session and there's a panel. So the moderator deals with the panel. Do you get me? So the moderator is just to ask specific questions around a conversation, while the MC is in charge of everything. An MC can also be a moderator, where you MC, introduce the panel, sit with them as a moderator, like I did in one of the programs, thank them, and continue MCing. Do you understand me? So a moderator has more to do with the details of a specific conversation within the broader program. But an MC is the broader term. How do you deal with mistakes? 3 A's. Avoid. Second A, apologize. Third A, atone. Avoid. Try and avoid by talking to the people first. Don't pretend you know. Ask him. You know, that's why you have to come early. Introduce yourself to the people. Let them know you are the MC. Ask them questions. How do I pronounce your name? What's your, all those things, or you can ask. So as much as possible, avoid. But if you make a mistake, apologize. I erroneously described her as a Mrs. She's actually Miss. Please accept my apology. You won't die. You have apologized. We all make mistakes. And atone for it. When you are introducing them next, Charlie, or if they like it, some of them, they're already angry with you, so just give them a mic and run away. But sometimes you can atone for the mistake by being complimentary of what they say or being kinder in reaction to what they've done. So they know that you've actually gone ahead to make them feel good. Most people get angry or embarrassed because they think you are disgracing them, right? So if after the program they feel better about themselves, you have atoned for it. So avoid, apologize, atone. How do you combine politics with the word? That's like a whole workshop. You can have a whole workshop on that. Daniel, Joseph, David. Look at David, 1 Samuel. David was, the problem is that we put people in boxes. So he's a preacher, I come and preach. If all of us are preaching, who will do the radio show? All of us are preaching, who will do the business? He works at Nestle. Stephen works at Bank of Ghana. When we were in Legon, I was the JCL secretary. He was a financial secretary. If we didn't do it, somebody else will come and do it and do Mapuka for the whole week. And we say we are Christians, so we'll be praying. And then somebody will do Mapuka. So we went into politics. Yellow was the president, I was the secretary. Stephen was the financial secretary. In Legon Hall, we had to do it. We were all, he was still the president of APOSA, and I was the secretary of LPU. Does that mean he can't preach? Our job, we are the light of the world, not the light of the church. Oh. So the earlier we assume our role here, the better for us. So for me, as I said, I am a Christian first. I am saved. My profession is a broadcaster, but I am a believer. Because in Christ, there is no, in fact, there's even no male or female. There's no circumcised or uncircumcised. There's no barbarian or Scythian. So my primary identity spiritually is a Christian. That doesn't mean I can't do radio work. But I do it as unto the Lord. That's the difference. I do it as unto the Lord. It says in Matthew, when you are giving alms, don't give alms before to be seen by men. So there are two radio presenters. One of them is presenting unto men. God is the one who will judge me, not the politicians. If NDC and people don't like me, it's not a problem. God will say, you had a chance to be on air for 10 years. Did you do it to honor me? Did you collect bribes to subvert the cause of justice? So I am a broadcaster unto God, not unto men. So people will judge you. You play some kind of music, you don't like it. I'm not doing it for you. God is the one who called me, and I'm answering him first. Are we together? If you have that at the back of your mind, you won't worry about anything. Because I am a presenter as unto God. And if you are called to be a politician, you are a president unto God. Because when you fast, don't fast before men, fast before God. So it means you can even fast before men. How much more being a politician? When you pray, don't be like the hypocrites. They want to be seen by men. But go in secret and pray so that your Father. So everything you do, you are doing it as unto the Lord. That's how people like me and Isaac live our lives. That's why we can do business. We will do because we have the Spirit of God in us. Right? And we need to teach our people that you are called into the world to make a difference. You are not supposed to be part of them. You don't compete on their rules. You don't use their methods. Okay? We don't use their methods. When you're a radio presenter in City FM, you have to sometimes go to meetings, club, and all those. I don't do all those things. I don't have to do it. My excellence is in the trueness to what I do. Because when I started doing morning, so they used to say, every time after Friday, you go home and go and sleep or you go to church program. I said, don't worry. Let's compare our interview style. Who is better? So I don't need to go to whatever they do to belong to them. It's God who puts me there. It's not they who puts me there. So those of you who are called into music ministry, just make sure you are accountable to God. Right? Because not everything that the church can tell you. I think I've spoken too long about this. It's okay. Any more questions? Very, 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 very.
You spoke about preparing the heart. Yes, how do you do that at what point in time before the program? And you said that there's a difference between a communicator and a talker. What is the difference? I'm asking, is the MC job lucrative? And if you want to get formal training apart from, say, GIJ, where will you go? And then about church, you mentioned that sometimes there's indiscipline at church and about announcements. Sometimes just before you are going out, or the church program is about closing, and then you have last-minute announcements that come in different forms. You spoke about not carrying too many sheets, but sometimes in church you are announcing and there are announcements, not on small papers scribbled, but from different quarters, official or formal announcements you must make. And these are typed ones you will not write down. I'm asking that, can anyone be an MC? Or there are special gifts, callings, and traits that you need? Thanks.
Can anyone be an MC? It depends. There are people who have the gift, but everybody can be trained. There are people who have the gift, but everybody can be trained. So that's my answer. I agree with you when you say sometimes you have announcements that, when we were in LPU, we used to write the announcements at the beginning of the program, myself and Frida. So what we do is that the secretary is sitting where he's sitting. He writes the announcement in his own language, or he organizes it before he goes up. So we don't take last-minute announcements unless it's coming from somebody higher than us, like the president, or somebody higher than us. Okay. Second point, the fact that I say you should use only one paper doesn't mean that if somebody has a typed announcement like this, you should rewrite it. Maybe it's already typed and nicely written. Just be better organized with it. So that's what I would say. The whole thing about indiscipline in church is about just being orderly in your mind and submitting to higher authority. That's all it is. Just submit to higher authority. That's what I would say. So, whatever the pastor asks you to do in that segment, just do it. Or seek his permission first. That's how I do it. Training of MC, lucrative or not. It's lucrative because if you do it well, people will pay you for it. But it will take you your time. Saturday, I wanted to be in the house with my family. I'm here. This whole week, the only time I've been home is Monday early. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all MCing programs. I may get money for it, but the cost is that my children are growing, they don't know me. So you have to decide which one you want. So if you don't have a wife like my own, otherwise you just something. So don't go there. You said communication. So what I'm saying is that voice or language, you see, relationships is about conveying meanings. And words are tools. Right? So if I look at my wife and I smile, I've said something to her that only she understands. If I smile at this guy, he doesn't understand why I've smiled at him. Right? So words become a channel for communicating. So when you communicate, you convey meaning, not speak words. Because if I came and I started using sign language, I'm speaking, somebody will understand, but you won't understand. So the bigger issue is communication. And then words or sign language or body language become the tools or the mediums Do you get me? That's what I mean. So that's why Mike Murdoch said, don't speak to be heard, speak to be understood. Because speaking is not about sound, it's about meaning. Do you get my point? That's what I'm trying to say. Prepare the heart. How do you prepare the heart? As a lifestyle. As a lifestyle. Very important because, of course, if you have a program coming up, you can pray. God hears. But I think for people who are in the business of speaking for impact, if you are in the business like a preacher, a teacher, or a presenter, the more quiet time you spend with God, the weightier your words in front of men. Are we together? And this is for all those of you who are in the communication ministry. Spend quiet time with God as a lifestyle. So that he will put the words in your heart. That when you come and stand in front of people, the word will carry weight. Okay, so it must be a lifestyle. Preparing your heart must be a lifestyle. So you must have, I think if you read Psalm 110, it talks about the womb of the morning. The morning is a crucial time for people like us. So you must have a prayer lifestyle in the morning. Because the morning is what best the rest of the day. If your work doesn't allow you, fine. But you must give the first 30 minutes of your morning to God. That's how you prepare your heart. Daily. Okay? Any more questions? Formal training. People do it like what I've done. So Alberto Kran and his wife will do a workshop occasionally. Kafu Day will do a workshop occasionally. There are no schools that train MCs formally. So usually they do it like maybe Cocoa Board wants to train their people, then they will bring you to come and do it. Like what I'm doing today. So maybe it's an opportunity for you. You can start an MC school. And then we'll come and teach there.
You've been invited to MC a program and you've prepared, well prepared, ready to handle the program, and you get on stage and you go blank. What do you do?
There are times that the chairperson would continue the program. What is the right way? In other words, what is the role of a chairperson?
Said I should be the MC and moderate the program. And then the sponsor, which is the bank, told the chairman that he was chairing the program. So I thought I was the one moderating the session. He also thought he was the one moderating the session. So it caused a problem. So this is what I do. Before I introduce the chairman, I've spoken to him already. And I'll ask him, are you an active or passive chairman? No, it's true. So an active chairman is a chairman who, as soon as I hand over to him, he takes over the program. And then he does it to a point and brings me back. Or a passive chairman says, I've accepted your chairmanship, MC, take over. And you have to discuss that before. It's very important. Because sometimes the person inviting the chairman briefed him separately. And the chairman wants to come and take over the program. And you, the MC too, you don't know. Then you're going to have a fight. So you discuss with the chairman. Do you want to continue or you want me to do it? If he wants to do it, let him do it. So you just introduce him and go and sit down and relax. When they call you, come back. Are we clear? You go blank. A short pencil is better than a long memory. A short pencil. So, you see the notes they gave me. So even if I went blank, at least I can read what is on the paper. That's why it's very good to write what you want to say. Do you understand? So if I go blank, I can still read. Or, I've forgotten everything. I'll just say, we now have the chairman, Mr. Kofi Mensah, to speak to us. I read it. Then I'll go and regather my thoughts. But if I don't write it, I'm dead. So you always have to write. And write it in a way you can see. Don't write it at the corner of the paper. Write it boldly so you can see it. Okay. Last question. It says children program. I believe that most children programs are informal. The key to children is participation and involvement. Bored when you are just talking to them. So, is everybody happy? Yay! So when you are doing a children's program, include a lot of things for them to do. And that's the only key I'll give you. So something, give them the mind. They can do it fast. You can't give them, if I was teaching children this thing and I was giving, they'll leave me right now. So that's what I'll say. And it doesn't have to be, you have to involve them. That's the only way you can have their attention. Including sometimes letting them introduce the various segments themselves. Otherwise, you'll never have them. All right. I think I've done enough. Thank you.
Because this is a Let's program, I'd like to say, Let's Yes, so our lives have been transformed, right? And we thank God so much, Bernard, for your time. We are very grateful. We've learned a lot of things. I'd like to say, we'd like to thank you also for making time to be here. And Harriet has already asked, we've all learned a lot. And can you imagine how much we take MCing for granted? We think that you can just wake up from bed and come and stand and just say anything. But we've been taught that that is not what it is, that it's actually a calling. And he struck a chord in me. Two things. He talked about preparation and he talked about prayer. I believe that because I believe that the MC sets the mood. The MC can set the mood. So if he said it, we've gone through some hard preaching. Apostle calls it what? Hard truths. And then the MC comes to crack a joke, and breaks it all. So we thank you so much. And he also talked about time. Sometimes you're looking at MCs who come in late, but I say that you must possess your territory. You must possess it. It is only when you come early that you can possess your territory. When you come in late and people are already there, you are disorganized. You don't know what to do. And then sometimes it can make you go blank. And making eye contact, that's also so important. Because sometimes you get vibes from the people. So something is not going well, there are faces you should look at. I think I've told somebody this before, that there are faces you should look at, because if it's not going well, you'll see it. But sometimes people deliberately say, I'm not going to look at this face. And then, so when you say, I'm not going to look, it affects you, because then it's a broader thing. But when you look and you know how to adjust, then it really helps you. And he talked about order and discipline. Very, very important. And he said you must catch the spirit of the speaker. So it's not a competition where you want to outdo. So the speaker says one thing, you say three things. So you must catch the spirit of the speaker. And then he talked about outfits, that it is not you are not the program. In fact, especially when it's church, this is about God. And sometimes I think that's the point we don't get. So then it becomes like it's about me. And he said something, if you aren't ordered physically, you can't be ordered intellectually. And I think you can't be ordered spiritually, true or false? Yes. And he said, organize your space as an MC. If your space isn't organized, your mind can't function properly. Don't speak to be heard, speak to be understood. And he talked about understanding the atmosphere, submitting to higher authority. But the final thing, he said, primary identity. You see that thing? I could have stayed here because I agree with you. He said, the first thing is that he's a Christian, so you do it as unto the Lord. Sometimes, it's about us. Nothing is about us. Everything is about him. We do it. It is all about his glory. We are not here on our own. So, Bernard, I agree. And I think we'll get on because we have the same spirit. I believe in that. And I tell people, it doesn't matter where you get to in life. If you know that everything is about God and that he has placed you there for you to fulfill a kingdom business, you'll know how to live your life and you won't go throwing your weight about. God bless you so much. On this note, would like to thank you again, and God richly bless you. And I pray that having gone through this, we will move to higher levels in church and everywhere we find ourselves. And for those of you who have that gift, I pray that you'll make a lot of money so we can get some to to support Lesedi and to build the children's church. God bless us all.